Most people think they're bad with money. They think they lack discipline. They think they spend too much, save too little, and somehow everyone else has it figured out. But what if that's not the real problem? What if the system you're living inside was never designed for you to save money in the first place? Because here's the uncomfortable truth no one tells you early enough. If everyone saved aggressively, the system would slow down. And a slow system doesn't benefit the people who control it. You were taught to believe that saving money is hard because of you, because you don't earn enough, because you lack willpower, because you buy coffee or sneakers or take vacations. But the reality is far more unsettling than that. Saving money feels hard because almost everything around you is engineered to make spending feel easy, automatic, normal. And once you see this clearly, you can't unsee it. Let's start with something simple. You wake up in the morning. Before you even leave your bed, you've already been marketed to. Your phone lights up with notifications, ads disguised as content, influencers recommending products they can't live without, limited time offers that somehow never end. None of this is accidental. The modern economy doesn't run on savings. It runs on consumption. When you spend money, companies grow. When companies grow, stock prices rise. When stock prices rise, executives, shareholders, and institutions win. But when you save money, the system gets nothing. That's why saving is never celebrated the way spending is. No one congratulates you for not buying something. There's no applause for skipping an upgrade. There's no dopamine hit for restraint. But there is instant validation for consumption. New phone, new car, new apartment, new lifestyle. From the outside, spending looks like success, and that illusion is powerful. Think about how early this programming starts. As kids, we're rewarded with toys. As teenagers, status comes from brands. As adults, success is measured by lifestyle. At no point are we taught that the quiet person with a growing savings account might actually be winning. Instead, we're taught to keep up with coworkers, keep up with friends, keep up with people you barely know on social media. And the system profits from that pressure, because pressure leads to spending, spending leads to debt, and debt leads to control. Debt is one of the most effective tools the system has, not because it's evil, but because it's efficient. When you're in debt, your future income is already spoken for. Your choices shrink. Your risk tolerance disappears. Your ability to walk away evaporates. You can't easily quit a job you hate if your bills are stacked against you. You can't easily take a break if every month demands payment. You can't easily say no when your lifestyle depends on saying yes. And this is where the system quietly wins. Because a population that needs its paycheck is a predictable population, a controllable population. Now here's where people get uncomfortable. They assume the system wants them to fail. That's not true. The system doesn't need you broke. It just needs you dependent. There's a big difference. A broke person is unstable. An indebted person is reliable. Reliable workers show up every day. They don't question the rules. They don't rock the boat. They don't slow down consumption. They keep the machine moving. And the machine is very good at what it does. Look at how frictionless spending has become. Credit cards removed the pain of parting with cash. One-click checkout removed hesitation. Buy now, pay later removed responsibility from the present moment. You no longer feel spending. You just experience the reward. And when spending stops hurting, saving becomes unnatural. Your brain is wired for immediate gratification. The system understands that better than you do. That's why almost every financial product marketed to the public focuses on access, not abundance. Credit limits instead of cash buffers. Monthly payments instead of total cost. Affordability instead of ownership. You're encouraged to ask, can I afford the payment? Instead of, is this worth delaying my freedom? And freedom is the real issue here. Because saving money isn't just about money. It's about leverage. When you have savings, time is on your side. When you don't, time works against you. Savings buy patience.
Savings buy options. Savings buy silence when everyone else is panicking. But the system doesn't benefit from patient people. Patient people don't impulse buy. They don't chase trends. They don't panic sell. They don't upgrade every year. They wait. And waiting slows everything down. That's why inflation quietly punishes savers who don't understand how to protect themselves. If your money sits still, it loses value. Not because money is bad, but because idle money doesn't serve the system. The message is subtle but constant. Use it or lose it. Spend now, enjoy now, worry later, but later always comes. And when it does, most people are shocked. They look around and ask, how did I end up here? The answer is rarely dramatic. It's quiet, incremental, invisible. A subscription here, a lifestyle upgrade there, a raise that disappears before it's even felt, and all of it feels normal. That's the most dangerous part. The system doesn't feel oppressive. It feels comfortable. Comfortable enough that you don't question it. Comfortable enough that you mistake convenience for progress. Until one day, something breaks. A layoff, a medical bill, an economic downturn, and suddenly the illusion cracks. That's when people realize saving money was never about being boring or disciplined. It was about being prepared. The people who survive downturns best aren't the smartest. They're not always the highest earners. They're the ones with margin. Margin is what the system quietly takes away from you. Fixed costs remove margin. Debt removes margin. Lifestyle inflation removes margin. And once margin is gone, your choices narrow fast. This is why saving your first meaningful amount of money feels life-changing. Not because the number itself is magical, but because your relationship with money shifts. You stop asking, how do I make more? And start asking, how do I depend less? And that's a dangerous question for the system, because dependence fuels compliance. But independence fuels negotiation. When you don't need every dollar, you think differently. You speak differently. You move differently. You're not desperate. And desperation is expensive. Now, let's be clear about something. This isn't about rejecting society. It's not about living in isolation or never enjoying your money. It's about awareness. Once you understand that the system benefits more from your spending than your saving, you stop blaming yourself. You stop feeling guilty for struggling. You stop thinking you're broken. And that clarity is powerful, because the moment you see the game, you can choose how to play it. You can still live inside the system, but on your own terms. You automate savings before spending touches your account. You keep fixed costs lower than your income growth. You value optionality more than appearances. You stop buying status and start buying time. And time is the one asset the system can't give you back. Every dollar saved is a small act of resistance. Not loud, not dramatic, quiet. And quiet resistance compounds. Over time, savings turn into investments. Investments turn into income. Income turns into independence. And independence is the one thing no system built on consumption can fully control. That's why saving money feels unnatural at first. You're swimming against a current designed to keep you moving forward without stopping to think. But once you build momentum, something interesting happens. You don't feel deprived, you feel calm. You don't feel behind, you feel ahead. You stop chasing and start choosing. And that's when you realize the biggest lie wasn't that saving is hard. It's that saving doesn't matter. It does. More than almost anything else, because in a world that profits from your urgency, your patience is power, and the system doesn't want you to know that.